What is up, everybody? My name is Panda. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know, I have been following the Gernon case. I have other videos on my channel if you want to go check those out. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about the Gernon case. I know you guys have already read the articles. You've seen other YouTubers. I just want to talk about some of the comments that have been left on my page, left on TikTok, and just kind of answer those and, just dissect what I think of those, but also my questions and concerns around this case, because this case is so bizarre, especially with the last video I did with the article that Darriynn was looking for his girlfriend, and the speculation is his girlfriend Monica, right? And wondering if that grandfather's home has the same layout as Monica. Is that grandfather maybe 2 or 3 houses down from Monica? I mean, a lot of speculation here, but very curious as to why Darriynn broke into that house looking for his girlfriend, because the last article, it didn't say nothing about him looking for his girlfriend. It just said that he was snooping around, and then Fox 4 grandfather tells Fox 4 that that Brown picked up a kitchen knife and is looking for his girlfriend. So a lot of man, I swear, this case, it's weird. It's weird. It's wrong. It's tragic. It's terrifying. That image of Cash is engraved in my mind because Darriynn took a damn boy. He took the boy out of his crib, sleeping alongside his brother. That is the most terrifying concept, that a child's life like that gone in an instant, sleeping right next to his other half. I swear, man. Let's get to it. So this is a clip from Triggered Crimes.
After Cash was found dead. And according to court documents, he did not press charges right away because Monica Sherrod claimed Brown was going through a mental crisis and would sometimes stay at her house. Harris confirms Brown had been.
So I'm still stuck on that, right? Because we know from the interviews and some of the articles, Monica said that she's told Darriynn Brown to get out, to not come back. Let's look into that article, shall we? So this is the article, the U.S. Sun. It says Monica Sherrod, 35, said she had warned Brown off just days before the alleged murder. I told him, don't come back around my kids, she said. I was out grocery shopping when he was here. I left the twins with my boys and daughter. Sherrod was watching 4-year-old twins Cash and Carter Gernon on Saturday when a suspect, identified by police as 18-year-old Brown, barged into the Dallas home and abducted the tot, who was later found dead on the street. So, this was the. What more can you say about this? I told him, don't come back around my kids. But yet, there are articles out there, Fox 4, where the grandfather states that Monica told the grandfather not to press charges because Darriynn Brown has mental health problems. Okay. We know that Darriynn Brown was friends with Cameron. For me, a lot of shit is not adding up. Nothing is adding up to me. We know that Darriynn took Cash, but everyone's asking the question, Monica did not have obligations to watch Cash or Carter. And the thing is, like I said, Monica has drug addiction problems. So is she empathizing with Darriynn because he has his own problems, so maybe they clicked. But then, like I said, there was that speculation that maybe Darriynn and Monica were hooking up. Maybe something bad happened between them two. Maybe Monica didn't want to, see Darriynn anymore, and his way was to, to get payback was to harm Cash or Carter, because obviously he came back that same morning. And I still raise the question: how the hell How the hell do you not listen for somebody to enter your home a second time? Given Cash's body has already been found, and the dude who snatched Cash is back into that home to do the same to Carter. Now, I know everyone's like, oh, he got spooked, but I know he also had something in his hands. So would he have done something there? Some interesting speculations came up too about, when the FBI was going in and out of the home, there was a carpet. See, this carpet, I'm very curious as to what they find. It's going to be a while. This case is going to be a while. But they pulled out this carpet for sure. So maybe they found bloodstains. Obviously, this is going to be part of the evidence that's going to have to be taken out to forensic so that they can investigate this carpet and see what their findings are. But I'm curious, what if Cash was actually killed inside the home? We know that speculations, again, we see the woods, right? It could have been done there. It could have been done in the home. There's so many cases where, stuff like this happens because it's always someone within this circle. This circle, right? It's always somebody that knows that child, somebody that knows the person who has been the victim of a crime. And then I raised the questions about the dogs. On TikTok, people are telling me that there's more than one dog. I mean, so many red flags here, folks. Like, I still am. Obviously, we're all on the edge of our feet, like trying to figure out when is Cash going to get true justice. And now we have that Darriynn, a defense attorney, is going to do the whole, oh, he's schizophrenic. Okay. The dude knows from right and wrong. Somebody in my comments pointed that out. And the one who pointed that out was Judy in my comment section. DB apologizing shows he knows right from wrong. So this is a video from Johnson & Johnson. This is somebody who's living with schizophrenia. Let's have a listen, shall we? Let's have a listen.
In the beginning, I tried to rationalize the symptoms of having schizophrenia, like hearing the voices. I would think that they were coming from my cell phone or the people around me. Sometimes I heard one voice, other times I heard multiple voices. They told me I was dishonored to my family. The symptoms got progressively worse during my years in college. Eventually, I just couldn't handle it anymore. I lost interest in school. I couldn't focus on my classwork or my assignments, and I dropped out of school. I learned of my diagnosis through an unfortunate crime I committed while experiencing psychosis. I was very confused and afraid at the time. I'd actually stolen a military truck from the airport and was arrested for that crime. While in jail, I stopped eating, drinking, speaking, living. The symptoms got progressively worse, and they didn't know what was wrong with me at first. Initially, I did not know that I had schizophrenia, so I refused to take the medication. I was in denial. I didn't have any insight. While I was in jail and I wasn't cooperating with my attorney, they had me take a competency test, which I failed. So later on, I got committed to a state hospital where they diagnosed me. I'm able to talk about it now because it's in the past, and I know that I've survived it, and I'm coping with it and continuously working on my recovery. And I talk about it a lot just to share my story with other people so that they know that they can recover as well. Society views schizophrenia as a person having split personality or a person who is extremely violent or dangerous. Those stereotypes really bother me because I don't look at myself as a violent person. I don't have a split personality.
Okay, so very interesting clip from the Johnson & Johnson living with schizophrenia. So we have this perception that, when we hear schizophrenia, we hear, yeah, oh my God, it could be violent. We hear the wording schizophrenia has a negative content behind it. But when you see stuff like this, you know that there are ways to recover. So this raises my question. was Darriynn Brown, when he was receiving mental health treatment, what was his diagnosis? Was he a danger to the public? Was he a danger to himself? I'm really curious as to what the recommendations that the practitioners had for Darriynn Brown. Like, what are the steps by steps that he had to do in order to cope with whatever he had? Because his defense attorney is going to fight with that Darriynn has schizophrenia. And if he does, he can plead the insanity plea. So he'll get the insanity defense, meaning he will skip jail and go straight to the mental health facility. He will get mental health care. It's really a get out of jail. I don't want to say it's a get out of jail card, but in this case, it is kind of a get out of jail card here. Like I said, Darriynn did know right from wrong, unless he was coached. Okay, this is where I'm gonna start. Like, unless he was coached, unless someone told Darriynn to apologize to the grandfather. So this thing just keeps getting weirder. My mind just goes. When it comes to this case, my mind just goes. And today I woke up with, I still don't get this case. And I know that the investigators are doing their best. I know that they're trying to get this sealed tight. Trying to make sure that nothing is missed, because this is, a 4-year-old just lost his life. I think a lot of us are still, and I said it in the beginning, that image is still haunting, that he was snatched out of his crib. Now here's another one that came on TikTok. A question is that, well, Cash didn't look right. He may have been drugged. My God, if he was, it may have been a blessing. I hope if he was, this all comes down to forensic about what they find. If he is drugged, oh my goodness, I'm gonna assure you that the repercussions, the charges are gonna go across the board. Because if he was drugged, and once again, this is just somebody commenting. I have not seen that information out there. I'm only going off of what I have. I'm only going to go off of the articles, and then I'm going to go into the questions that I have. But with the comments that I have received, they're not 100%. I haven't been able to see or read anything that is valid towards those comments. I haven't been able to see if Cash was drugged. If he was, we would have known that a while ago. The thing is, like, he picked up Cash from his sleep, and it late. It's like morning. Picked him up around 5. Okay. When people say like, oh, the way he looks, that's a sleeping child. That child is groggy. Right now, everything's foggy. He is probably in that, like, what's happening? He's tired. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. He just got snatched. So as he's being picked up like this, he's probably, who knows? If he was drugged, holy hell. But I do think he was tired, still tired from that. We will find out if he was, though. If he was drugged, forensics will release all that, and we will know. So here is another a clip from the attorney that is representing Darriynn Brown. Okay. So he says he's able to support that he believes that Darriynn Brown is schizophrenic. Okay.
Brown had been to a mental health facility, but was later released.
Based on what I believe is I'm going to be able to support that this kid is schizophrenic. We want to see if this is a situation where we have a whodunit, or if it's just a simple question of why. Why, and could it have been prevented?
So this raises the question again. The treatment that Darriynn was getting. Does this defense attorney actually have the information that Darriynn is schizophrenic? Or, he says that he believes. So is this just an assumption? But he's really like, I believe he's schizophrenic. But it all comes down to the practitioners that were watching and treating Darriynn on what their findings were, because he was discharged. Normally when you're discharged, it's because you've improved, there's no need for care, or they can't work with you and they will refer you to someone else, so they discharge you. So it really just depends on what the medical records of his mental health treatment, what does it say? Like, what is his diagnosis on that? You know, I'm only going to go off of the information that I have. I don't want to go into speculations. And it's just me. It's just me that can find this information. I don't have a team behind me. I don't have people out in the field in that area that can report some strange things, other than I did have someone on TikTok saying that they went to the candle lighting and she felt that they were fake as fuck. That the candle lighting was fake as fuck. Now I don't know what if there was a candle lighting. I haven't researched that, so I'm gonna do that. But this TikToker that was on TikTok told me that she was there and that she felt that they were fake. I mean, I'm still trying to understand. You know, Trevor moved in February. He flees in March. Monica has the boys April and May. You know, February to May. The tragic happens. And I mean, that's still not enough time to really build a solid relationship. At that point, you're just, you know, kids are pretty good about, like, do I trust that person? You know, they'll do their best, you know. If their father, it's the fact that the father left them there that can also raise questions to the kids, like, oh my God, what do I do? Obviously, we're not in the mind of those kids, but I'm sure those kids, I'm curious. I'm curious if investigators were able to talk with Carter. I'm actually curious if Carter was able to, you know, 4-year-olds, depending on their speech, depending on their speech, depending on what their level of speech is, like, are they able to talk a little bit? I'm interested to see if they're able to talk with Carter about conditions or strange things. You know, a lot of things can come out from a 4-year-old. 4-year-olds don't hold back, especially if they're able to talk a little bit. They can go, man. But these kids' world has been, whew, like I said, these two only had each other. They only had each other, and so many red flags with this situation, so many weird connections. You know, it's like every time a new news article comes out on this case, it gets bizarre, it gets weird. It's like, wait, this is new, this is a twist, what the hell? So other than that, today, this is what I got for you. I really want to go into that town meeting, which I will soon, but I really wanted to get through this because this is just, has been on my mind. And I'm like, you know what? Go in. Let's make the video. Let's talk about it. Let's raise those questions. I love your guys' comments. I'm going to do my best to get back to you guys. Until then, I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching. Panda Punk out. Peace.